Hello, hello, hello. So, I am Clarkimus. Welcome to this reaction video of a reaction video. So, if you can hear, there is no talking on that video. Yes, I went through and watched this entire wonderful debut of the new Magic set with very, very just passionate reaction and all the stuff that was going on. And nothing went on. In fact, I loaded it all the way onto YouTube before I found out there was nothing going on. So that was fun. So I was thinking maybe we ought to do this again and maybe do it right this time. Hopefully, that would be nice. We shall see. So let's jump in here. This is, again, this is their debut of the new Magic set. And wanted to do a reaction to all of this, but let's jump through and get ahead here. There's an old guy. Okay, here we are. All right. So it was actually kind of fun because, you know, they had 14 minutes of this like swooping through and like going to different channels. And then it came to this standby for difficult. You know, we've got this thing going on here. I am going to kill the volume on this one as soon as it starts because it has a licensed song on it, and then it's going to tag me, and that's going to be a problem. But at any rate, this is a very cool opening. Like the monsters that are going to be in this set are amazing. I've already seen it now, and so like I'm going to have to do these kind of reactions, very fake. But I had a lot of fun watching this because it is a really cool trailer for the new set. They're in a new place, Ikoria. Now I can't even think of what it's actually called. I don't know. Anyway, Lair of the Behemoth, and look who's back. It's a planeswalker. Oh my goodness, there's all kinds of stuff going on here. I am excited about the set, though. There's some really cool stuff. It's just hard to watch it all again and then pretend like I'm trying to, and I'm not going to do that. So take a look at the video. Like all this stuff's coming out, and then it has this big reveal at the end. If you're into monster movies like Godzilla, you'll be pleasantly surprised at some stuff that they're doing here. And I think one of the things, and I talked about this in my first one that you can't hear, but one of the things that I'm really excited about is I think this harkens back to the feeling that probably most of us had when we started playing Magic the Gathering, and we see that first giant creature, right? And because that power that's involved there. And then they go a few steps further with this. It's a really cool thing. So let's go ahead and let's jump forward here. They've got some stuff going on. She's going to kill some stuff. Things are going to happen. It's going to die and then come back. And, that looks bad. I had a much better reaction to that when I saw it for the first time. So let's get into this, right? Okay, so here we got some people. We got some stuff. Let's get the volume back on so that they can talk a little bit about what's going on.
In store for you today.
Sweet preview cards, a bunch of new mechanics, a whole slew of commander goodies. That's my jam. And of course, we're introducing a new plane, Ikoria, Lair of Behemoths.
That's right. For the first time, Wizards of the Coast has partnered with Toho, the legendary Japanese film studio, creator of such classic movie monsters as Mothra, Ghidorah, and of course the biggest of them all, Godzilla.
So I'm really excited about this part, okay? So they actually have made a partnership with the movie company who has developed all these monsters. I'm just a huge fan of these type of monster movies, especially where we've got Kong, Skull Island came out, and the Godzilla ones that have come out. Those are so much fun. The old classics are so much fun, and I think it does grab a hold of that feeling of magic. Let's see here. Let's jump forward.
Godzilla!
Yes! Okay, stay tuned. We've got so much in store for you. You ready to get started, Josh?
Let's go check it out.
Okay, come on. Look who it is, product architect Mark Hagan.
Hey, Becca.
Hey, Mark.
So Mark comes along and they have this idea, and they're gonna make the deal over there, and they do make the deal and come up with some great stuff and put it all together. Are we ready to start looking at cards? Did we do the cards yet? Not yet. We start looking at cards over
any
here. All right, so
time.
here we go. First card. Now, these are really cool things. Vivian's there. I got to move this to my other side because it's really starting to hurt my ear. So Vivian's there now, and in this new plane, right? And I love this. Look at the top card of your library anytime. And then if it's a creature spell, you can cast it from the top of your library. Whoa, okay, that's really cool. Because not only, are you able to look, but with your effects of being able to scry and move things around and put stuff there, it's incredible. It's an incredible card. Then what her... I can't even think of it. Oh, it's been a long day. It's been a long day, so I hope you appreciate this. The thing with the tokens and the stuff that they want to be close to you. I can't think of it. Anyway, if you add one, you're going to create a 3/3 green beast creature token, but the choice of vigilance counter, reach counter, or a tremble counter. Okay, so they have this other new mechanic, these counters that they can place on different things. We'll get to that in a moment. And then when you remove loyalty tokens, that's what they are, I think. You can cast the next creature spell, remove 2 of them, cast the next creature spell this turn. You can search your library for a creature card with lesser converted mana cost, put it onto the battlefield, and shuffle your library. So you got to cast one, but then you can get one, and it costs you 2. I mean, and you get to put a creature into play for 1. That's some good stuff. Some good stuff there. All right.
You may cast creature spells from the top of your library. Her +1 abilities.
Okay, this is my thing, and I'm just not a fan. What do you think? What do you think about these comic book style cards? I don't think that they look like Magic the Gathering at all. Now, of course, we can always take different approaches to how we, visualize things. I would love to see this as a Magic the Gathering comic book. It just doesn't feel right as a card to me. And I don't know. Not so, at first I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. And then the more I look at them, especially the other ones that come along, I'm just not impressed at all with these.
Says create a 3/3 green beast.
It's from Ikoria. So we'll get to see more later on about Luca.
I want to see more right now.
I want to see more right now.
We've got Luca.
Let's do it. Okay, so now we've got this new other Planeswalker. He's pretty wild, too. He's got the exile the top 3 cards of your library. Creature cards exiled this way. Gain. You may cast this card from exile as long as you control this Planeswalker. Remove 2. Exile target creature you control. Then reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card with higher converted mana cost. So you can see we've got them going both directions. Put that card onto the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of your library in any random order. And then this is the big one, right? Especially if you're playing multiplayer, playing Commander, although this is not a card specific for Commander, but they do have a lot of specific Commander cards. And if you remove 7, each creature you control deals damage equal to its power to each opponent. So that's pretty wild stuff right there.
Coppercoat Outcast.
And then let's get,
His
I
casting
think we're going to
cost
take
is
a look.
3 red and red. His loyalty starts at 5.
think we're gonna
His
take a look
+1
at,
ability says
the
exile the top 3
other
cards of your
version of this
library.
card.
Creature cards exiled this way gain. You may cast this card from exile as long as you control a Luca Planeswalker. His -2.
Yes, and here we go. This is another one. This is the one I was like, what? The last one is like, okay, but this, I don't know. Battletech, maybe Battletech CCG kind of had this look to it. This to me is a different game. The art style. I mean, yes, it does have the mana symbols are there, and it's got a few other things that are there, but it's not a Magic the Gathering style card, and that's at least for me. And so you tell me down below, if you don't like it, or if you do like it, and why you do like it, and should they have done the entire set that way? I mean, if they'd come out with an entire set, would that be your thing, or is it only as alternative art? So they're talking a little bit about why he's there and what's going on and the more of the storyline behind it. And that's some interesting stuff. Okay, so let's get into this one because this is what we want to see, right? More mechanics. Let's jump into their conversation on it.
Be here in front of Karuga Macro Sage. So
What
let's
a
take
coincidence.
look. Creatures with Companion work in 2 ways. You can either put them in
So we're talking about the new mechanic Companion.
your deck and cast them as normal for their casting cost.
So I want to hold on to this one because it kind of jump by it pretty fast. So this idea of companion. So your starting deck, so if you want it to be your companion, this is not a feature from Commander, but it works in that same type of way. So if you build a deck with this card and your starting deck contains only cards with converted mana cost 3 or greater and land cards, then this can be your companion, which means it can sit outside of the game, and then when it comes time that you want to play it, then you can play it, right? That's how it works. When it does enter the battlefield, draw a card for each other permanent you control with converted mana cost 3 or greater. So you can just have it in your deck. Any deck, you can still have, your elves and things like that to help move stuff out faster. But if you want to use it as a companion, that's what you have to have. You've got to have this deck built this way.
You'd expect. Or they have a companion ability, which is a special requirement, a deck building requirement. Definitely trying to take some of that kind of Commander vibe and attitude and kind of bringing that.
And that's going to be an interesting thing, to see how those kinds of mechanics will work together. Here's another one of these art cards. But you see how drastically different these are? So the one here on the left of the Huntmaster, the Liger. Let's get a Napoleon Dynamite going on. All right, so our Huntmaster Liger on the left, that looks like a Magic card to me. That looks like a Magic card. The Huntmaster Liger on the right looks like a different game card. It's good art for what it is, but it doesn't look like that. I'm sorry, this has all become just me complaining about that, but because I've done this now twice, and this is what really got to me, and so you're getting all of it. I hope you appreciate it.
Hat beast. And then it goes all the way up to the top.
Okay, so they're talking about mutated this time. Mutated, I think, is a really cool idea. So if we take a look here, they're both the same. They have the mutate cost for 3. Whenever this creature mutates, other creatures you control get +1/+1 until the end of turn, where X is the number of times this creature has mutated. And so you see on the bottom portion of that card. And I think
so we have Aluna, Apex of Wishes is an example.
What they'll do here is they'll show how this works. So you've got a card, and then it kind of goes on top of another card. So it's kind of like the idea of an enchantment, right? And this they did actually 3 different versions of. And so the Godzilla cards, so let's just jump ahead for that. The Godzilla cards here on the right are still have the same name underneath, but they're the same card. All 3 of these are going to be the same card, but the one on the far right, that name is like a flavor name. So that's how that works. Let's see. Let me jump back real quick. I want to make sure we didn't miss where they actually put the card on top of the card. Let's run through that real fast. So, but the idea of that I think is pretty cool. Of course, just like with piling enchantments on top of each other, it does make your creature just really like that's a part that you want to be shooting at, right? It makes them a huge target. So although you can mutate up on all these different cards, it's not necessarily the smartest thing to do, right? Because you never can tell when they're just going to kill your card right there. So mutating though, and it gives you the mutate cost, and then you can put it on top of the other one. I wish they would show that part. I know that they did at some point. So this is what they're talking about. Sorry. This worked so much better when I just did it all at the same time. So they're going to zoom in here for a second, and you can see that the name underneath the name, the flavor name, is the same name. So they're just doing that. So you can't have 8 cards that do the same thing. Okay. So this is the same card. It's got all the same values and everything, but it uses the monster movie name, which is fun. I think that's a fun thing. Like, you've got to do different stuff to keep things moving, to keep things fresh. And I think it's a really good idea. It's a good direction. So I'd love to see some different types of partnerships. Maybe next time they can do Fortnite partnerships. So wouldn't that be cool? Okay, there we go. Here it is. So this is what it looks like when you've mutated, and it uses the top card's power and toughness. So this bottom card's power and toughness just goes away. It uses the top card's power and toughness, but it gets what that bottom card there has on it. Okay, so in this case, it would get reach, and whenever this creature mutates, you may discard a card if you do draw a card. So it gets that, and it has its ability, and so as you can imagine, like these things could be stacked up. And that would be pretty wild, right?
It's already out there. And then at that point, they're treated as one creature.
So
they have the power and toughness of whatever creature's on top. So you usually put the big one on top.
Gotcha.
But they have the abilities of all of the creatures put
But
together.
maybe I want the small one on top.
So it's kind of like build your own monster.
Right,
Build-
exactly.
oh my
and you
goodness.
can keep going. So you can get 2 down, and then you can add a third and even a
Third?
4th to the
Oh,
pile.
you can mutate more than once.
Right, you can just keep
crazy.
changing. And a lot of them have a mutate
Crazy.
ability, which is something that triggers when they mutate, kind of either onto or coming out of your hand. So you can imagine if you get kind of a stack of these things, and then you add a 4th onto the pile, and all the abilities trigger, things get out of hand quickly.
Trigger,
So quick.
hashtag
So
value,
quick.
you know,
Out of
I
control.
like that.
Yep.
Like
but it's
my
not
microphone.
all new mechanics in this set. I've heard some
goodness.
rumors that maybe there is one returning
So
mechanic.
there's
Is
a
that
really
true?
cool. I'm
It's true.
excited
We
about
have,
this. We got
cycling.
cycling
So
that's coming
cycling-
back. Cycling's back. That was one of my favorites, because I love being able to get rid of cards in my hand when I don't need them later in the game and draw other cards, which is always nice. So cycling is going to be there, which is good. Jumping ahead here, we get into. Let's see. There's only one more thing that they really talk about. Okay, here we go. Back this up just a little bit here. These are the tokens that I was talking about earlier.
We're on now, but this time we lined it up with Ikoria. So instead of having its own standalone creative, we just kind of welcomed it into the world of Ikoria. So it takes place in the world of Ikoria. It shows off that kind of creative and some of those characters, tells parts of the story, but with the commander deck. So it all comes out as
Okay,
kind
so
of a
they're
big
talking about the
Ikoria
commander
package.
decks.
I like
there.
this because it's going to give me a chance to play with all the new kaiju that you created.
Yeah, lots of new stuff to pull into your commander deck.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's all these new cards coming out. They're just for
Yep.
Commander.
Yep.
for
You
Commander.
know what I'm going to ask.
Yes, you can see.
It's proof. Indestructible. Lifelink.
Okay, so this has that add those tokens, so which is kind of fun. Repeat this process. So when Cathril Aspect Warper enters the battlefield, put a flying counter on any creature you control. So think about it that way. You've got a +1/+1 counter. You've got a poison counter. You've got a I can't think of what some of the other counters are. Now you've got a flying counter. And then it says, repeat this process for first strike, double strike, death touch, hexproof, indestructible, lifelink, menace, reach, trample, and vigilance. And then put a +1/+1 counter on Cathril for each counter put on a creature this way. So, can get pretty big pretty fast. Pretty big pretty fast. But this is one of the commander ones, so I don't know that they're going to let you play with it. I don't see anywhere where it says commander on there, but I don't know. Who knows how they'll do it. At any rate, I think the token idea is pretty cool. And that will be a feature in there because we saw the one earlier. And I'm just excited. I'm excited to see where this is going to, what's going to happen
Menace,
with this.
reach, trample,
And all the different types of cards that are going to come along with it. I think that's one of my favorite things, is like figuring out a new set. And then on top of figuring out the new set is getting in and figuring out how to combo it with what's available already. And that's where the real fun and the brain stuff and the things and all the cool things about it make it really good to play Magic the Gathering. Indeed. As you can tell, I am getting tired, and I still need to get this loaded up. So that is pretty much it for this. They do show a little bit more on some commander cards. You can find these all online now. Everyone is showing these. I did like this dude. Ever playful. Whenever a target creature deals combat damage, return target creature card with mutate to your hand. That's a lot of fun. And then they're saying, "Hey, let's play some Magic together." Okay, cool. All right, awesome. See you guys. Appreciate it. Talk to you later. Okay, I've got some decks. Let's go play. Have a good time. So that is not as cool as the first one. Believe me, that first one was pretty awesome. I had a really great video. I had saved this. I was not watching anything. I wasn't allowing myself to see anything because I knew I was going to record this, and I really wanted it to be a true reaction video. And now I'm doing the, oh boy, look at that. And it's not feeling so fantastic. But I'm excited about this, and I probably should have said this at the beginning, but you should definitely subscribe here. More importantly, take a look at the link down below. Come over to my Twitch channel because part of being in the Magic Creator program is that I can get, got some rewards now to hand out, and that's going to be kind of fun. Do some contests, help me build some decks on Arena. I'm very excited about keep the stream going on Arena. We're doing very soon. We've got a pre-release to check out, and I'm going to be showing you that live. So very excited about that. Please come join me. I am Clarkimus. You have a good day, and seriously, stay safe, stay inside, keep your family safe. Don't do anything ridiculous, and I hope you're okay. And I'll talk to you later.